Hello, my dear grade 6 pupils. This is Teacher Jane and welcome to our English class. Our lesson for today is about elements of narrative or elements of a short story. Before discussing our lesson, let me show first the objectives that you are going to learn at the end of this lesson. I have here the three objectives. The first is you have to identify elements of a narrative which are the characters and setting. Then you have to evaluate narrative based on how the author developed the elements, and you have to show appreciation on evaluating narrative based on how the author developed the elements. What did you see? Do you know what is that picture? Have you tried eating that one? What makes that food delicious? I'm sure it is because of the ingredients that make that bolalo delectable or delicious to eat. Just like a short story, it needs the best ingredients to make it good while you are reading. So, a short story class is similar to that bulalo or to your dish. It needs the best ingredients for you to enjoy its delectable taste. Stories are made up of 4 important elements nga mao ni nakapanindot inigbasa ninyo sa story. Kung wala ni sila, ang story wala say lami. Pareha sa sudan, kung di nimo butangan og mga lamas, wala say lami kaunon. So, there are 4 important elements of a short story. These are the setting, the characters, plot, and theme. But in today's lesson, you only have to learn the 2, the setting and the characters. When we talk about setting class, it tells the reader where and when the story takes place. Kung moingon gali ta og where, it means asa nahitabo ang story. For example, dito ba na nahitabo sa dagat? Dito ba nahitabo sa bukid? Dito ba nahitabo sa China? Or diri ba sa Philippines nahitabo ang maong story? Get nyo? Okay. When you ask about when the story takes place, it means kanus-a nahitabo ang story. Does it happen a long time ago? Or does it happen today? Yesterday? In the morning? Midnight? In the afternoon? Or inyong timan-an basta naghisgot gali og time or kanus-an nahitabo, mao na siya ang setting sa story. The keywords there are only 2, where and when. Get nyo na, unsa ang setting? So, timan ang setting, diin or kanus-an nahitabo ang story. Then, another elements of the story that you have to learn is the characters and characterization. When we speak of characters class, it means that the people or the animals in the story, ang mga nagdala sa story. Kinsa ang mga tao nga naapil sa sugilanon, or sometimes ang story dili tao ang nagdala. It could be mga animals. Okay. So, if we also talk about characterization, it is the description of the personalities of the characters in the story and the way in which an author reveals their personalities. Unsa nga karakter ang ilang gidala? Pwede sila mahimong maldita, pwede sila mahimong buutan, pwede silang himong salbahe. So, depende giunsa nila pagdala ang karakter. So, okay. There are two identifications of characters or na ay duha ka klase ang characters. First is we have the protagonist. Kaning protagonist class, mao ni sila ang hero sa story. In other words, sila ang bida sa storya. Just like for example, sa salida nga probinsyano, who do you think is the bida of that story? Di ba si Cardo? No. Okay, mao na si Cardo ang gitawag og protagonist. Then, the other character is antagonist. The villain in the story who is always opposing the protagonist. It means, kung naay bida, ang antagonist maoy kontra bida. So, mao ni ang tao nga kasagaran sa mananaw atong kalagutan. Maglago ta ani kay mao man ni kontra sa bida. So, get nyo? So, again, what are the two identifications of characters? So, the protagonist and the antagonist. In Bisaya, ang protagonist mao ang bida, ang antagonist ang kontra bida. So, let us now read a short story. After reading this one, let us identify the characters and the setting of this story. Are you ready to read? Okay. From his room, Alex heard the loud barking of his dog, Casper. It sounded like the dog was in trouble. Alex rushed outside and Casper running back and forth and around the chicken coop. Then suddenly, Casper rushed towards the coop and pounced on something on the ground. For a while, it looked like there was a big fight between the chicken and the dog. The chickens were restless and noisy. Casper was growling and struggling with something. Then everything became quiet. Alex held his breath as Casper slowly appeared from behind the chicken coop. Dangling from the dog's mouth was a big lizard. The dog had killed the lizard that had been eating the chickens. Okay, Based on the story that we have read a while ago, the main characters are actually class. There are two kinds of characters. The main characters and the secondary character. So on that story that we have read, the main characters are Alex and Casper. And the second character is the big lizard. And where do you think is the setting? So unsa itong setting? Diin nahitabo ang story. And the story took place around the chicken coop. By the way, kanading coop class is kurungan sa manok. So, ang in English sa kurungan sa manok, mo na ang chicken coop. Okay. So, did you get it? So, since our lesson for today focus only on the characters and the setting. So, you have to answer this activity now in your notebook or in a whole sheet of paper. You have to read the selection below, write a description of each character and setting in the story. Kung miingon nga ko i-describe ang description of each character, meaning imong i-describe unsa nga klase nga character. Honest ba siya? Humble ba siya? So, depende kung unsay gidaan niya nga character sa story. Did you get it? Okay, let's start now. The Ant and the Grasshopper. In a field one summer's day, a grasshopper was hopping about, chirping and singing to its heart's content. An ant passed by, bearing along with great effort an ear of corn he was taking to the nest. "Why not come and chat with me?" said the grasshopper. Instead of toiling and moiling away, "I am helping to lay up food for the winter," said the ant, "and recommend you to do the same." "Why bother about winter?" said the grasshopper. "We have got plenty of food at present." But the ant went on its way and continued its toil. When the winter came, the grasshopper found itself dying of hunger, while it saw the ants distributing every day corn and grain from the stores they had collected from the summer. Then the grasshopper knew. So what you're going to do is to write who are the characters of the story. Then you have to describe what kind of characters they are. Then you have also to write the setting and describe asa dapit ang setting o unsa klase nga setting. Thank you, class, and I hope that you gain knowledge on what I have discussed today. Until next time, God bless and have a good day.